Hello everybody, this is ZigZagZog coming to you from somewhere in this world, and we're back to continue our playthrough of Empire Total War featuring Darthmod in a 40 unit save version. And something I noticed when editing the last video is, I took that last turn and didn't spend any funds, so now I have a whopping $67,606 in our, bucks in whatever the currency is of the time for the United Provinces. We have 67,606 of them. So we'll have a bit of spending coming up here. I think initially, though, we'll kind of take a look at what we can do in the area to settle things down. And one of them is to get ready and make sure all my armies down here are getting healed and that the cities are getting rebuilt so we can keep on the move. That's always a challenge, is to keep ourselves on the move. If we do this, we have a little bit of recruiting we can do for casualties we took. While I'm here, I do notice that we have a rake that we can get up here in this direction on some of these last couple provinces up here. So Punjab looks to be pretty clear, and I'm going to guess that Kashmir does not have a lot to offer also in the way of resistance. So there's not a lot left. We do have a conflict once again with Persia, but their nearest forces, they don't seem to have any forces really down our way to threaten us at the moment. So I think we're pretty much fine to move ahead and continue on with the Mughal Empire and not worry about the Persians. What I will do, though, is now I should be able to send my navy up in this direction. I'm pretty sure oh yeah, that's what we were going to do that last time too. We were going to run down here, and I'm going to send one unit over here, kick them out of the port, and have ourselves a little naval battle. And we have a little Zebek, we haven't seen one of them in a while, and a brig against all our mighty fine ships. And we do have a 6th rate and a sloop, but guess what? 4th rate, 2nd rate. And you know why I'm doing this, I gotta say, is I hate naval battles. We've overall done pretty well in them, but I just still do not feel like I've mastered the naval end of this game, and so I'm going to do one vastly in our favor just to keep practicing a little bit of maneuvering and whatnot to get my feet wet. This is more for my benefit than your benefit, so bear with me. I'll edit out any slower parts, at least parts that I feel we can do without, but I'm going to do this battle, so let's get down there. See you on the high seas. All right, the wind looks like it'll be in our favor for the most part, as long as we set off to the side. So let's just at least get all our ships over to the side, and I'll finish setting them up, and we'll come back and take a look at the line I've decided on. Or multiple. Yeah, with only 2 vessels on their part, we'll probably go with a single line. All right, I did set up as a group in a line, and I started out with the most fun vessel we have here, and that is the 2nd rate, followed by the next most fun vessels to sail with, and that is the 4th rates, then minor 6th rate, sloops, brigs, to finish it off. So we'll get it going, see where they are, and then as we get closer and close on them, we'll come back to the action. Let's go see how far. Oh, they're way into the wind for us. So we're just going to get this going. It's going to be a lumbering, slow journey out there because I got my slowest ship heading out and taking the lead for us. But it's also the most fun ship to go to battle with. So as we get closer for battle, we will come back. Okay, so we have our mighty 2nd rate almost. Actually, it's probably in range if I just turn them into the battle. But we're just going to keep going straight. The Zebek's going to probably end up crossing in front of us and get some shots off on us before we get to get our return fire on them. But they don't have enough guns to do really a lot of damage to us. Our forward guns just are taking some shots now, and there goes their shots. And they're not even shooting at my 2nd rate. They've gone for the farther, more distant 4th rate. I think what we'll do is we will kind of go to split the two, and we'll get broadsides on both sides of the 2nd rate to help us out. And then once we have the port clear, we'll go in there, heal back up, and then go blockade the Persians. Say shame on you for declaring the war on us. Zebek's doing some hits on us, but in the big scope of things, I'm really not worried. I just want to see some good old broadsides on this little old vessel and see how it holds up. That's what I'm waiting to see. That didn't seem to go well for them, did it now? And that's only some of our guns. There should be more ready to fire, right? Now the brig on the other side is getting their fair share. The brig is going to cross in front of our fourth rate, it looks like. Zebek is getting shot from all angles now as we circle around them slowly. Yeah, losing slightly, I'd say it's more than slightly. Hull damage sustained. And here, that's pretty funny, it says the brig is winning slightly. We'll just take the group off and go individual here. And the Zebek, without our eyes even on it, has fallen. So we'll get all the rest of these vessels turning and attempting to go towards the brig next. And he's already wavering. His hull is already down to a low level strength as far as the meter goes, and he will not last long. And there we go, we got him to surrender just like that. So ended up not quite getting the shots off, or the number of rounds off that I was hoping for the second rate, to have it be more fun and just blast them out of the water. But overall, we blasted them out of the water, just not the way I was planning on having it happen. So they're gone. Let's get back into the port. Let's repair all ships before we make the journey up to the Persian port. So we have some scattered remnants out here from our newly conquered Hindustan territory. We will start rebuilding a magistrate and that line of building to help us out, and we will we'll build up an army encampment here also, and really nothing else, just so we have all buildings here. What we're going to do is take a look at the army. We definitely need some healing and recruiting going on here. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. We're looking at some swordsmen and total melee units there. More Islamic swordsmen. And a lot of infantry. So we're looking at a lot of infantry to deal with here. We're going to go ahead and take on this unit over here first. We'll bring out one cannon. And we'll bring out some of our strongest infantry troops as far as numbers go, size of the force. And we'll also bring out a cavalry or two. Is that the only cavalry I see? Now we have some cavalry needing replenishment over here. So we'll bring them out and make a go at this. That's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we outnumber them. Even if they reinforce. If they can reinforce and end up reinforcing here, then so can our army here. So that's enough to bring out, to make a statement, start picking up some of these straggle units to keep them from just tearing apart the infrastructure all over and raiding everywhere. And we get reinforcements, but they don't get reinforcements from any of these other forces. So there you go. We're just going to auto-resolve. And they're gone. I'm just going to keep on moving right now with this force. And we're going to auto-resolve once again. This one not as much in our favor, but I'm just going to go ahead and do the auto-resolve. And not a clear victory where we wipe them out. We're going to head back to stay as close as we can to Hindustan. And then what we're going to do is come out here with a force. Just our whole army, as a matter of fact, to hopefully wipe them out. And then retreat back to the city. Alright, and then go back here to keep the public order in line. And right now it's not very good at all. Let's look at the construction we need. Part of that is because of the buildings we need to build in here. So we're going to have some revolts going on. We're going to have some... Wouldn't be surprised if the Weaver's Cottage gets demolished, or perhaps the Pleasure Gardens. We shall see where they take out the wrath against us when they revolt next turn. And then we'll get everybody back in here replenishing. Let's take a look at this army. Okay, everybody there is currently replenishing. We took some new casualties here. And everybody seems to be replenishing there. Okay. Next order of business is right here. Tired of them raiding in our backcountry. Another lopsided battle. We're going to go and auto-resolve this also. And range-wise, we don't really have the range to pick up these two units. What are they? A couple of Zamindari horsemen. Do we think some Dragoons are going to be up to it? I don't know how full strength they are. Looking like they might be full strength, as a matter of fact. So we probably are outmatched if we try sending our Dragoons straight in with no kind of support. So what we'll do is we will bring these infantry units here. Get out to the reinforcement zone right about here. And then send in the Dragoons to hopefully get the job done with reinforcements. Let's see if we're up to the task. To this one, because it's probably going to be so close, we may fight out. We'll see what the odds look like. Well, it's definitely in our favor. 320 versus... Oh, we have the numbers in our troops here, but one of them is militia. So we're just going to auto-resolve again. Very small battle. Didn't quite wipe them out, but we made a statement, I think. And finally, is there anything else we're going to deal with at this point? Let's just combine forces here, get them replenished. And I think that's all of our movements at the moment as far as battles go in India. We can't quite move out of Bijapur yet with our force. Yeah, the public order is positive. The minute we take away our armies, we just can't do it yet. So unfortunately it allows him to build up here, but there are no walls. And hopefully we'll be able to move soon. So something else that if you read comments from the last episode that you noticed, and I noticed at mid-turn, but over in the Americas, there is another army on the move up here. And I was scrolling up. That's probably one of our eagle-eyed viewers saw this army over here. I think these are the Pueblo. Yeah, the Pueblo Indians up here have a nice healthy stack. 21 units over here. And I have an army over here on the continent. But they are way far away, many turns away from being able to come down to support us. Fortunately, we have another army that's unneeded right now that can probably react a little quicker. Not quite as strong as the army up north, but surely sufficient and up to the task, I would think. So we're going to take our naval force that's down here at the port in Cuba. We're going to come up here. And we can afford to take our forces out, oh, for sure, without a doubt. And we're going to board and see if we can get the rest of the way up to the port. And we might even, if we're lucky, be able to make it to New Orleans itself. Let's find out. Let's take the forces off. And take our army and get it on the move to New Orleans. So now I at least feel secure that we have a force ready to respond to the Pueblo nations if they do decide to push their aggressive move right there. And what have we got left here? Makes it seem like I have forces left on board here. And I do. So we have some more that can head over to New Orleans for a potential upcoming battle. We'll find out if we've scared off the Pueblo Indians or not now. And we're getting pretty close to just having money to spend here pretty quick. But the only thing I want to look at doing in the continent back here in Europe is repositioning a couple armies, well, one army, and I just have this nervous fear that Russia at some point is going to feel emboldened just because of their land power, and we're going to take the force out of Morocco, and we still are positive, as I should have probably checked first, but we are still okay public order wise over here, and we're going to park them in Spain just a little closer to the action. And I'm also thinking, since our income is solid, I would start building another, maybe not full stack force, but another little extra force back here. One thing I want to do is upgrade the artillery cannon foundry so we can build an upgraded tier of cannon. But in the meantime, we're going to recruit some infantry to get us started. We're going to recruit all the remaining Valdec infantry that we can, and it looks like it was 3 more units, and fill it out with a couple more line infantry, just so I have a potential mobile force. I just get the rumblings. Right now Russia is interested in Austria, and Austria, they're probably going to move on Munich here pretty quick, but that gets there, that pretty much pushes their border right up to us. And I'm kind of thinking, you know, other than Hanover, they are going to be pushing right up against us. So I'm feeling I want to get a few extra forces here because their land army is massive right now. In fact, if you look under, is it under, here's prestige. If you look under the prestige of the Russians, as far as their military, which is the land forces, they outnumber everybody around, even ourselves. Our navy is our strength. So I just feel now's the time when we don't necessarily need it yet. We work on building a few more land forces here on the continent, just so I don't get surprised. And now it's just a matter of looking around and seeing what do we have. I think our ministers, yeah, it's next turn where we have an election, so I may have to be doing the shuffle there. Income's still good. Trade, nothing blockaded. We're all strong. So I'm just going to start looking around on what we need to spend at the moment, how I need to upgrade. And I'm going to be going around the map with some infrastructure looking first. We'll pop in here and there as I'm spending money, so you don't have to watch me looking around and searching for everything. I'll highly edit this part. All right, down here on the island of Sardinia, we are able to upgrade to our metalled roads. And now we've made it to India, and I think I will, infrastructure-wise, infrastructure is something they can't come by, and they aren't allowed to really churn up my roads. So I think in India I'm safe upgrading roads without a problem. So wherever I can in India, we are going to upgrade our roads here. It'll also enhance my movement to move around and reinforce down here, especially as they send those little tiny forces here and there to raid and whatnot. So we're just going to spend a ton of money down here upgrading our roads, and that is why. Not so much on any other kind of building they can raid and burn in the background, but this is a safe investment down in India at the moment. Okay, and now we are to the Americas. And we have 22,000 left, and I'm kind of thinking we're going to take a look at some of our island holdings that tend to be a little safer and do some upgrades here where we can. Starting on the island of Cuba. And the money is being spent fast, very, very fast as we go through and upgrade these plantations. In fact, let me take a quick look in Cuba at religion-wise, 90% Catholicism. So yeah, I think there's a church school over here that needs to be rebuilt to help with that conversion. And we're pretty well set. So that was a big infrastructure turn. We got it out of the way. And I think we're just gonna head on to our next turn then and see what it brings to us. See if we end up going to war with Pueblo. See if Persia has any surprises for us that's out of our line of sight. And finally see if we can start making some progress in India to wrap it up there. Well, at least with the Mughals. So we'll see you on the other side of this next turn. All right, so Persia has decided to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. We happen to have a fifth rate, and a galleon over here, and they brought in a fifth rate, wow, and a galley and a light galley. So they pretty much match up to us nicely here. So it looks like we have a real naval battle ahead of us now. All ships involved here are at full strength. The only good thing is the galley and the light galley don't have any guns. So gun-wise, we outnumber them, even though ship-wise, they outnumber us. So let's see if we can hold up to the Persians. We'll see on the high seas. All right, their advantage is the wind. That is the challenge we're going to have to work with here. So I think what I'm going to try doing, we're going to get all the vessels over here, and we're going to try moving across the wind, across the zone. They should be approaching us. They have the wind, and that's the way I'm going to hopefully play it. Hopefully the way it will work out for us. The fifth rates will be leading it off with our no, the galleons in the middle. Okay, that works for me. And there they are off to the side. We're going to start moving our ships into the wind, or at least across the wind, so we can hopefully have a little bit of maneuverability as they close in on us. And as they get closer, we'll revisit the battle and see how the positioning is going. So we're going to be crossing away from each other at a distance. At some point, they're going to turn into us, and we're going to try turning back, keep going back and forth, cross the wind. We want to make our turns before they get too close. I'm not going to make you watch all this maneuvering, just kind of broadly letting you know what's going on. And once again, we'll come back as things get a little more developed and a little closer. So my galleon has finally made its turn. We've both turned around. We get the first shot, although it's at a distance. So not expecting a lot until we get a little bit closer. Try to get these two ships so they aren't stacked and hiding each other's shots. We're going to see if we can't turn a tiny bit to get ahead of them. I'm hoping with some of our naval advances that our ships maybe just are a little, we're fifth rate against fifth rate, but I'm hoping that perhaps we're maybe a little tiny bit more agile than they are, is what I'm hoping. And then the galleon is just a lumbering slog of a ship. Pounding into the hull, but it is a fifth rate, so it's holding up fairly well. We're starting to see it come down a little bit now. Weren't able to quite pull it off. There we go, we get some shots into the bow. Now where's our galleon? Can we get that into the play here? More bow shots. We gotta make them hurt. We have the ability to make the turn, hit them in the stern. Our hull is starting to show signs of weakness here now. Same with the hull on this vessel, is starting to show signs of weakness. have a galleon here somewhere. Can't maneuver. Battered over here, but they're still hanging tough. I'm worried about our hull over here. I'm going to try turning into the wind to get to the other side of the vessel. It's not as damaged. And we've surrendered. How did that happen? How did we ever surrender? We're about to get our galleon shot in the stern. But I'm hoping I can at least finish a 5th rate over here. Doesn't look like we're able to get any shots off. We're sinking over here now. We've surrendered. So all I've got left is the galleon. So it looks like we're going to have another big naval loss here again. Couldn't even take out their 5th rates. Feeling strangely confident at first, and a tide turned on a dime. I'm trying to take out one of their vessels any way I can so he can't just hop up our trade nodes and take us on that way. Okay, we've got their ship down. So now it's our galleon against a Admiral's flagship 5th rate that we've got to work on. They do have hull damage, and we are concerned about casualties. We got to find a way to keep pounding their hull in some fashion. But we got our slow lumbering galley here to do the job, which is not inspire much confidence. Well, we got their other vessels coming towards us now too, with their 4 cannon total, or 8 cannon total. At least they're approaching us in a position or a way that we can bring fire upon them. And he's turning into us. He'll be able to bring shots against us if he gets his broadside turned against us. Get a lucky hit on this hull over here. Not doing much damage to these guys, and they're able to pound us even though it is with hardly any cannon. We're wavering and about to go, wavering because of the casualties we've taken. And that's it. We are routing. They gave us a glimmer of hope, but we've lost. So the Persians surprised us on the high seas, not where I expected to take a hit from them. Our galleon apparently is still standing. But not for long. We'll just auto-resolve this one. And there we go. But we did our fair share of damage on them. And they took over a trade node. We do have other vessels down there to perhaps return the favor. All right, we have a new agent recruited. Protestant missionary in Upper Louisiana. Do we have anybody on their deathbed here? So no, that is a brand new missionary for us in Upper Louisiana. And we have workers rioting in Hindustan. The pleasure gardens, of course, are damaged. And then it looks like we are rake time for successful missions here. And path blocks, we don't need to worry about them. Election results. The hustings are over. Following a free and fair election, the current cabinet has regained control. Oh, thank goodness we don't have to do shuffling right now. So we got our same strong cabinet back in place. There you go. Recruitment report. We started our recruiting in France. And a lot of our roads coming up, getting built. We have some new technology advances. Improved grape shot has moved on to carronades, and university, the seed planting to interchangeable parts. So we'll go see if we need to work on some of those. In fact, let's look at it right now. Improved grape shot, so yeah, we'll keep them in the same line, the military line, the naval line there. Let's take a look over here. We finished. Now we're doing all the things we can over here. Is there anything over here? No. I think all the areas where we are working on. In fact, we have another school. What do you know? We'll throw it right there. We have a trait gained. We have a new rake that's gained subterfuge for infiltration. And we got some new towns emerging. Morocco. Let's take a look at Morocco real quick. Islam. So yeah, we're probably looking at a church school down here. And this over in Algonquin territory. And what are we looking at over here? 100% animism. So yeah, we're looking at another church school to finish the conversion. Okay, it doesn't look like since we're in the Americas, it does not look like we have any movement from this force here. They're just kind of parked on the border. So it's probably a good thing we had a force able to come over here. I think if they did not have the ability to relocate to New Orleans, we would have been at war with the Pueblo tribe. So that worked out in our favor. Let's see.
What can I for you do?
Let's head over real quick to the Americas. I should have said from the Americas. Let's get this army parked up in Spain. Income is still steady as it has been. We're going to recruit some more. We're going to go just with another round of infantry. It's the quickest thing to build. Then after that, we'll look at perhaps some artillery once our construction is done here in a couple turns. So we'll do another round of infantry. And really, of what we have, the best we have is just plain old line infantry here. Then we'll work on some cavalry, and by then, the turn after, we'll be able to get going on some artillery pieces. And in India, we had a navy of Persia, so they're really bringing it to us via the navy. So what we're going to do is this. We are going to bring another army unit down to the port, kick them out, and we will return the favor. And they have a fifth rate along with a sloop. We will, and this time, I tell you, I'm doing it again. We're going to pound them. So we'll see you down there. Yeah, that move of theirs off the trade node, kind of, can you tell it ticked me off a tiny bit. So we're going to get our fleet set up over on this side. I'm probably going to split them into two lines and head at them in that fashion. We don't have the wind at our backs to our advantage, so we're going to head across our zone once more. So once we get set up to ready to go, we'll come back. All right, here's our 2 lines ready to go. We're going to find out where they set up, and they're way off in the distance. So what we're going to do is we'll work on closing in on them, and as soon as we get closer, we will return to the battle. So our goal here is this guy, his little sloop is going to get through, and we're just going to kind of surround him at some point, I think, depending on how fast he is. And the 5th rate we'll deal with after that. Gets off first shot with the little sloop. He definitely is going to be more maneuverable than us. But he is definitely outgunned. So he's turning into us. Nice close range shots up to him with our 6th rate. It looks like the other line is starting to do battle. Or at least he's getting shots on us, but soon we will be doing battle with his 5th rate. So he is starting to waver a little bit, his little sloop. I think it's time on this particular grouping to ungroup everybody so we can better gain some more shots on him. As we focus on the main ship. Separate our line here. Powerful blow into the bow from our 2nd rate into the 5th rate. Just a shocking blow. We're going to see if we can't turn our other vessel into the battle and keep this one as a follow-up. And we do have the sloop has surrendered. We'll bring the rest of us down just in case. But I think with the 2nd rate parked right at this angle, we're going to get some more shots into the 5th rate, and he is going to succumb soon. Boom. The wood and the timber flying. His bow has got to have a gaping hole in it, and he goes right now and surrenders. He is on fire. He is hurting. So that felt good. Finally, that felt like the naval battle I needed all along, where we just pounded them into submission. So, whew, heroic victory. At last, the naval battle I wanted all along. There we go. I think what we will do, even though it's decimated, let's see, is that the 5th rate? We'll pick up the 5th rate and let the other one go. And while we're here, we will repair the port. And we have our Navy now. We'll get our final repair job over here and set up to the Persian port up here to stop this nonsense at the sea. Okay, so what we're going to do, we ended up having a bunch of little naval battles, not what I expected to start with, but we're going to call it here, then we'll look around the map, see what else we need to do as far as engaging the enemy here in India, but I think we're well at our time at the moment, so we'll have to end it right here. Hope you enjoyed the naval battle, a little different flavor than what we've been, all the land battles we've been having so much recently. We've almost forgotten about these naval battles, and it shows as far as our ability to conduct these naval battles. But the last one felt good, I'll tell you that much. The last one felt good. Second rate broadsides right into the bow of that fifth rate. My goodness, didn't that feel good. So this is ZigZagZog signing off from somewhere in this world. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I had playing it. At least the last battle, we finally got some satisfaction. Let me know what you're thinking. I appreciate all the help you've been giving me with some eagle eye things you guys notice. Don't be afraid to comment. I don't bite. And thanks so much for watching. Hope to see y'all next time. Thank you.